Nobody expected Jimin to do this. In the middle of Germany, surrounded by thousands of screaming fans, under the massive lights of Allianz Arena, a single unexpected moment happened. And suddenly, everyone stopped. The music was still playing. The lights were still shining. The crowd was still roaring. But for a brief moment, it felt like the entire stadium was completely frozen. Because Jimin had just done something that nobody saw coming. A small movement. A powerful expression. A moment that lasted only a few seconds. Yet somehow, it created a reaction that spread across the entire stadium. People couldn't take their eyes away. Fans were screaming. Phones immediately went into the air. And many realized something unforgettable was happening right in front of them. But what made this moment so special? Why did this simple action from Jimin create such a huge emotional reaction? And why are fans saying this was one of those moments that reminded them exactly why Jimin's performances are so unforgettable? Stay until the end. Because the most powerful part of this story wasn't just what Jimin did on stage. It was the emotion behind that moment. Germany was already waiting. For days, excitement had been building. Fans from different cities, different countries, and different backgrounds were making their way toward Allianz Arena. Some had traveled for hours. Some had waited years. Some had dreamed about this moment since the first time they discovered BTS. And finally, the day had arrived. The streets around the stadium were filled with anticipation. Purple lights appeared everywhere. Fans carried banners, memories, and emotions that were impossible to hide. For many people, this wasn't just a concert. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Because BTS concerts have always been more than music. They are moments where strangers become connected. Where thousands of voices become one. Where a simple song can remind someone of an important chapter in their life. And on this special night in Germany, everyone came with the same hope. To feel that connection again. To see BTS standing in front of them. To hear their voices echo through a stadium filled with love. But among all the excitement, one question remained in everyone's mind. What would Jimin bring to the stage? Because fans already knew something. Jimin doesn't just perform songs. He creates moments. Every movement has meaning. Every expression tells a story. Every second on stage feels carefully connected to emotion. That is why whenever Jimin performs, people don't just watch. They feel. They notice the smallest details. The way he looks toward the audience. The way he moves with the music. The way he transforms from a quiet and gentle person into a completely different presence under the spotlight. And tonight, Germany was about to witness that transformation. The lights began to fade. The noise inside Allianz Arena grew louder. Thousands of voices started calling out. The atmosphere became almost impossible to describe. That final moment before the performance begins. The moment where everyone knows something incredible is about to happen. The darkness. The anticipation. The heartbeat of thousands of fans waiting together. Then suddenly, the stage came alive. The sound exploded. The crowd erupted. And there he was. Jimin. Standing in front of a stadium full of people who had been waiting for this exact moment. The reaction was immediate. The energy changed instantly. Because there is something different about seeing Jimin perform live. On a screen, you can see his movements. You can hear his voice. But inside a stadium, you can feel his presence. Every step. Every beat. Every emotion. It reaches the audience in a completely different way. And as Jimin began performing, something became clear. He wasn't just trying to impress anyone. He wasn't simply showing incredible skill. He was giving everything he had. The confidence was obvious. But behind that confidence was also something deeper. A story. A journey. A reminder of everything he had overcome to stand there. Because the Jimin that fans saw on that stage was the result of years of hard work. Years of practicing. Years of pushing himself. Years of facing expectations that would have overwhelmed many people. Fans remember the moments when Jimin talked about pressure. About wanting to improve. About wanting to become someone who could give more to the people supporting him. And now, thousands of people in Germany were looking at him, cheering his name, showing him that all those difficult moments had led to something beautiful. But then, something unexpected happened. Something that changed the atmosphere completely. At first, many people didn't even realize what was happening. It was just a small change. A different movement. A different feeling. A moment where Jimin suddenly shifted the entire energy of the performance. And within seconds, the stadium reacted. The cheers became louder. The excitement grew. People started realizing they were watching a moment that wasn't ordinary. Because the most unforgettable moments are not always the biggest ones. Sometimes they are the smallest. A glance. A gesture. A movement that feels completely natural. A moment where an artist connects with thousands of people without saying a single word. And that is exactly what happened. Jimin has always had a unique ability. He can communicate through movement. He can tell a story without speaking. 1 second, he can make fans feel powerful energy. The next second, he can show vulnerability and emotion. That contrast is what makes his performances so captivating. The strength. The softness. The confidence. The sincerity. All existing at the same time. And as the performance continued, fans began noticing something. This wasn't just about a dance move. It was about the feeling behind it. Because Jimin wasn't only performing for the audience. He was sharing a moment with them. And that connection was becoming stronger with every second. But then something happened that made the atmosphere even more emotional. Because while everyone was focused on Jimin, something else was happening across Allianz Arena. Something that showed just how powerful this moment truly was. And when fans realized it, they understood why this night in Germany would be remembered for a long time. Because when thousands of people react at the exact same moment, you know something special has happened. Across Allianz Arena, the atmosphere became something impossible to describe. It wasn't just loud. It wasn't just excitement. It was emotion. The kind of emotion that happens when an artist and an audience completely understand each other without needing words. Fans who were holding their phones suddenly stopped recording for a moment. Some simply wanted to experience it with their own eyes. Because sometimes, a memory is too special to watch through a screen. Sometimes, you just want to be there. To hear the sound. To feel the energy. To remember exactly where you were when that moment happened. And for many fans in Germany that night, that moment was Jimin. The artist who stepped onto the stage and reminded everyone why his performances have touched millions of people around the world. But what made this even more meaningful was not only his talent. It was the emotion he carried. Behind the perfect movements and the powerful stage presence was someone who always tries to give his best. Someone who understands that every performance is a chance to create a memory. And that is why fans connect with him so deeply. Because they don't only see the performer. They see the person behind the spotlight. The person who has worked through challenges. The person who continues growing. The person who still gives everything, even after reaching incredible heights. And as Jimin continued performing that night in Germany, another beautiful moment happened. The connection between BTS and ARMY became impossible to ignore. Because while the members stood together on that stage, it wasn't just a concert anymore. It felt like a celebration of everything they had built together. Years of music. Years of memories. Years of shared experiences between 7 artists and millions of fans around the world. And seeing BTS in Germany created a special kind of feeling. A reminder that their music had traveled beyond language. Beyond borders. Beyond distance. From South Korea to Germany. From one heart to another. Their message continued reaching people everywhere. And in that stadium, every cheer represented a different story. Someone who found comfort through their songs. Someone who gained strength during difficult times. Someone who finally had the courage to chase their dreams because BTS inspired them. That is the power of moments like this. They may only last a few seconds. But the feelings they create can last forever. And perhaps that is what made Jimin's unexpected move so unforgettable. It wasn't because it was the most complicated movement. It wasn't because it was something nobody had ever seen before. It was because, for that brief moment, Jimin made thousands of people feel something together. Joy. Surprise. Admiration. And pure happiness. In a world where so many things move quickly, moments like this remind us why live performances are so special. Because they cannot be perfectly recreated. They cannot be copied. They happen once. In one place. At one exact moment. And everyone who witnessed it becomes part of that memory. Germany will remember the night when Allianz Arena became a sea of purple. Fans will remember the screams. The lights. The energy. And the moment Jimin stepped forward and once again proved why he is one of the most captivating performers in the world. Because true performers don't just capture attention. They capture hearts. And Jimin has shown that again. Not through words. Not through promises. But through his passion, his dedication, and the emotion he brings every time he stands on stage. So maybe the biggest lesson from this unforgettable moment is simple. Great performances are not only about perfection. They are about connection. They are about making people feel something they will carry with them long after the lights turn off. And that is exactly what happened in Germany. A stadium full of people came to watch a concert. But they left with a memory. A memory of Jimin. A memory of BTS. A memory of a night where one unexpected moment made everyone stop and say, "Wow. I was lucky to witness this." And now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Jimin's incredible stage presence in Germany? What was your favorite moment from this performance? Share your thoughts in the comments below because every army has a different story, and we would love to hear yours. If this moment touched your heart, don't forget to support the channel by giving this video a like and sharing it with other fans who love BTS. And if you want more emotional BTS stories, unforgettable performances, and moments that bring ARMY closer together, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because there are still so many beautiful moments waiting to be discovered. Until the next story, stay happy, stay inspired, and always keep the purple light shining.